Hello, Jamie Rogers here today for Craftmania. I'm here to add yet another video into our little library of quick Christmas ideas for you. Basically, if you haven't caught any of these already, we know it's November. We know that lots of you haven't done your Christmas cards if you're anything like us. And we're trying to give you a few last minute ideas of bits and bobs you could bring together quite quickly to make them last minute cards. Now, the good bit is virtually all of the products we're looking at are available on our website on offer. And my peek gives you a little scan over a few of the cards that are going to be on the videos, or just you might like to see for a bit of inspiration. I'll tell you a little bit more about where you can find them on our website. So they're all in one section. If you go online to www.craftmaniacrafts.com, and if you have a little look in the as seen on TV section, I know we're not technically on TV, but it keeps it easy for you and I. Pop onto that little section and you'll find a tab called November-YouTube-Last Minute Christmas Ideas. And all of the products pretty much that we're going to be covering on our videos will be on there for you to go and be able to add them to your baskets. At the end of the video, we'll talk to you a little bit more about how you can order them and how our P&P and all that lot works, but that's boring. We're here to see ideas, aren't we? So let's show you our little quick card that we're going to be working on today. When I made this for one of my shows back in June, I really loved how dinky it was. As somebody who makes quite large cards, I think sometimes it's quite nice to rein it back. Especially at Christmas, we don't always want to pay to post millions of large cards. Or even if you're not worried about the postage, sometimes you don't want to put the cost and the effort into making large cards. I often say this, and it sounds awful, but there are some people we have to make cards for, but we don't always really want to, don't we? It's just how the world works. So sometimes simple, quick cards can be fun. So this one's one of my favourite simple and quickies. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at how we can work with pixie powders and gilding flakes with our die cuts. So the one I'm going to use for this, actually, I'm going to show you our little demo board because I think it's always nice to explain to you how these work. This is a new concept by Sue Wilson. These only come out earlier in the year. And basically what we have is adjustable frames, as such is what they're actually called. This is the poinsettia one. Now, in your set, you're going to end up with these dies. And what that means is we have our front panel for our die, which is our delicate bit. We have the outer edge for our die. So if you don't wish to use the outer edge with the delicate bit, you could just cut the delicate part into your card and have that as a frame on there. Or if you wish to, like we have, we've nested both together to make this filigree die cut. Or you could have it just as a solid backing. So obviously you could do these in different colours and pop them behind them if you wanted to give you a different effect. You could use them as we have here as really lacy bits. Or we could actually use these and stamp on them or decorate them, emboss them to show you different ideas. And I do have a little card just hidden away over here, which you can see I've attacked with one of our snowflake flurry stamps. I think that's one of the woodware ones. Again, you should find that on our website if you like the look of that. And that one's just been done with some Distress Oxide ink. So these really do open themselves up to being decorated however you want to. So that can be quite good fun. The actual designs, this is the poinsettia one. There was also a bell one, a snowflake one, and I think there might even be another design by memory, but I do have a bad memory. But they are on the website if you want to have a little look at them. As you can see, you can take your 3 pieces and you can put them together as you want to. So we've put them into squares, but obviously you've got long and short sides. So if you wanted to make them into rectangles, you could. And something I do urge you to remember with these, because I think this is lovely, is you could actually use them across your card to make little corner elements, and then you could post little bits in behind them, either as decorations or like photo corners for your scrapbook albums. This one's obviously the largest one of the cuts, so you could even have like cute little corners, or possibly on the insert of your card to match in. So just really good, fun, versatile dies that I think you're going to come back to time and time again. So what we're going to do with them for this card is we're going to take, or I've already taken, a piece of a self-adhesive sheet, and I've cut it down and I've stuck it onto a piece of card ready. And we're going to take the top layer of this off so it's now sticky so we can work on it. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our 4 pieces to our frame. I'm going to get that one out of the way for the second, and we're going to bring these in, and we're going to pop this in the middle-ish, we hope. Always tricky to do these things live. I'm going to pop that down. I'll rub that down again in a minute when I know it's more in the right place. Now we're going to put the piece of the frame on here. We can always trim around the edge. So if it's slightly too big, that's not a bad thing. We can always go back and trim it if we need to, but we're not wasting our self-adhesive sheet. And then we're going to bring in our last panel here and hope that they all match up roughly. I'm a little bit low on the one at the bottom, but I'm not going to worry about that. If I made this and I was worried, then I would stick a flower or a poinsettia over that bit of the frame. But for this, we're going to go with it. Now, the bit you've pulled off over the top here, really good tip is to bring that in and use this to push down. So when you are happy with where all your pieces are, just give that a good rub and it will hold it in place. Now, as I say, do play about with it a bit more at home. Make sure you've got them where you want them to be, first of all. If there's any excess, like I've got a bit of overhang here, we can trim this off already, actually, just so you can see that we won't end up with any colour in areas that we don't need. And then we're going to bring in some gilding flakes. Now, when I actually did the first card of this, I used our Golden Jewel gilding flakes, but today we're going to use one called Harvest Moon, and we're going to use some pixie powders as well. So what we're going to do first of all is we're just going to take our flakes and we're just going to randomly drop them over the top here. Now, again, if you wanted to save product, you could cut the middle out of your frame before, depending on what you're going to do with it. For the project we're doing, I'm actually going to use the bit in the middle as well, so nothing's wasted, or by theory it wouldn't be. We're then going to take our pixie powder and we're going to drop a bit of this on over the top, because I don't want to push one in and burnish it before I've done the other one. Try not to waft, that was silly, weren't it? They'll all blow away. Do have moments. But tap on your pixie powders. Now, obviously, when we normally use pixie powders, we would spritz these with water and the water would bond them to the card. And we have another video that may or may not have been uploaded yet, so you're just going to have to watch them all, I'm afraid. But one of them where we're actually going to put pixie powders on top like this and we spritz it with water. And although they're on the self-adhesive sheet, they'll all come to life and give you some colouring. But for this demo, what I thought would be quite nice is if we left the pixie powders just as they are. No extra colouring, no more spritzing, no need for water. We're just going to let them adhere to that self-adhesive sheet and bring in that really nice pastel blue shade that we've got. Now, if you want to at any point, you can add in a bit more if you wish to, if you don't feel you've got enough, but I think we've probably just about got this covered. Now, I'm using a little sponge for this, and on the last video, the one where we spritzed it, I forgot to have my sponge with me. The sponges are much easier to use, and I believe you get 6 of these in a packet. They're really good for all of your gilding flakes or aurora flakes. Again, you're going to find them on the website if you want to add them to your cart, but they are a really good idea. So for this one, actually what we could do, we could go rogue. I keep doing this on these little videos. I have this whole plan in my head of what we're going to do, and then we go off on a completely different tangent. But I suppose that's good. It shows you different ideas. So this one, I would actually leave that as is. And on the completed frame, that's what I've done. So I haven't added in any water, as I mentioned. I didn't want it to colour anything. I just wanted it to stay as it was. But if you wish to, you can spritz them with water. And as we're not doing that on this video, it might be nice to do it to show you. So I'll bring in some water and we're just going to give that a little spritz. Now, all of them pixie powders will come back to life. And where you've put your die cut on, so this one obviously is a white die cut, it will go off and it will colour your die cut as well. And it will give you a bit of interest on your die if you don't just want a full-on white one. You can, of course, spritz as much as you want. So the more water you add, the more they're going to firework. The more you can end up washing them about a bit. You can add in more pixie powders if you wanted to. But when this dries, you're going to end up with quite a nice effect. And this card here, this is actually how that one was created, was by sticking my die cuts onto a self-adhesive sheet, and then left a big border around my self-adhesive sheet, put on the pixie powders as we just did, and then spritzed it. So all of the white from the die cut has got this lovely pixie powder effect on it, and you've got the pixie powders coming through in your silver gilding flakes this time to give you a nice different colouring, which I think gives you quite a, for this card, quite a Frozen-esque effect, which is quite nice wintry feel to it. When we was on telly with these, Nigel May reckoned these look like avatars, so I did take offence, I'm not going to lie, but no, nice idea really. So if you do want to colour them, you could do, which is good fun. So we'll pop this onto one side anyway, so you don't, for the technique we're doing, you don't need to spritz it. All I've done is I've jumped ahead, and with a knife I've cut out the centre here so that it is back to being an aperture. Again, you don't have to have them like that. If you wanted to, you could leave them solid. You could put more things in the middle of them. I also think these are really nice for framing your sentiments and possibly even going on the inside of your cards to go around your inserts is one of the ideas I like. Now, the bit I've cut out from the middle of this, I've actually used, and we'll talk about that in a minute, but you can use that. So on the reverse of my frame, all I've done is I've bought in these panels. Now these are literally 1-inch strips of card, which I've scored at 1/2 inch. I've put some tape on them and I've stuck them all the way around the frame with the score line pointing to the middle. Now I've done this so that I can actually give my frame a bit of a 3D effect. So before you put them on, take your frame and fold it across each of the corners. And I show this better on the other video I've done with these. So you will get to see that in more detail. But just fold it so that it comes up into a bit of a frame effect. Gives you more of a 3D dimension. But obviously we can't really glue this because there's nowhere to glue it. So by adding these panels, these little flat pieces, that's going to be able to maintain the 3D angle. And we can then just add glue to these to hold it down, but it's still going to stay up. So hopefully that makes some sense. If you don't want to make it 3D, you don't have to. You could of course leave it flat. So again, if you're worried about postage prices, don't 3D it. Then behind our little frame, I thought it would be really fun to bring in our forest die. Now this again is one of the dies from Sue Wilson. We have this on the website. It was incredibly popular when it came out. This is another one that sold out when we did it on the TV. We waited an awfully long time for it to come back in stock, but we do have a few of these and the animals are in stock at Craftmania right now. It's quite good because it will actually stay in your cardstock. So if you want to, you can actually marry them up side by side and keep cutting them. And if you don't want to, then obviously you can just trim it down on a trimmer. Now for my one, all I did was added some foam tape to it. I'll show you the one that I've actually completed. Is added some foam tape to the panel that I cut out of the middle. So the middle of the frame come out. I added some foam tape around the sides of it. I've then added on the part of the trees that I wanted to see. So as you can see, you can really go in and pick the area you want to be at. So I wanted it quite open at the base here because I want to be able to put my little forest deers coming out of them, my little reindeers coming through the trees. And I felt if it was too dense, the forest, they wouldn't really stand out, or it might give the illusion they was 6 foot in the air. Not so good. So I've gone more for the base of it here. So you've still got the bottom bit. Now this, of course, we could add some lovely glitter bits too, or maybe some fluffy stuff, that's the word I'm looking for. We'd have fluffy stuff in there to make it look more snowy if you wanted to. The option's yours, but it's going to fit perfectly behind our frame, whichever bit you use. And of course you could go vertically as well as horizontally with it. So it just depends on how much you want to add in there. So we'll take this and we will take that part off. Remove our little foam tape pieces, and then we're going to bring in our frame and pop that over the top and line that up. Now I think that makes quite a nice picturesque effect already, but there's nothing stopping us from going in and adding more to this. I'm desperately trying to, oh here they are. I knew I'd got them somewhere. I wanted to show you this because this is of course your forest panels. This is your birch tree forest, actually just cut out of white on black so you can see them details. I love the way Sue's added in these little notches throughout the trees to really give you that texture and depth to them. And then we also have, and these are in stock at the moment, these are your Woodland Collection forest animals. And this is such a fun set because you've got your little trees, you've got your row of trees, you've got your little branches, you've even got birds and squirrels, little rabbits, reindeers, foxes, that you can now pop in and put between the trees. They come as 2 separate dies, and as I said, we've got both of them in stock at the moment at Craftmania. Both of these sold out, and we really waited a long time to get hold of them. So, but they're there now if you'd like to get hold of them ones. I've cut mine out of just gold mirror board, and we're literally just going to lift the trees, and we're going to pop them coming through the trees. I've added some foam pads onto the back of them, and we're going to do exactly the same this side for our other one as well. There we go, bring them together. I like the little embossed work on this one as well. I think that's really pretty. Again, gives it some nice depth, doesn't it? And then all we're going to do, really simply, is I've just got a card I've cut down. I haven't got a ruler because I'll give you a bit of a measurement, but it's not very large. It's got quite a nice little small card. And we're just going to take our foam tape off of the back of our frame and pop that on the top here. And that is as simple as that to complete just a nice little mini card. We can then push that up into the air to give it a bit of 3D. And there we go. That is your card complete. And as I mentioned, there's nothing stopping you from doing them as a vertical or as a horizontal card if you prefer. So hopefully you'll agree that's quite a fun and easy way to use these. We could of course turn these into little shadow boxes as well maybe. So if you're somebody who likes making Christmas decorations, imagine that as the front of your box. And then maybe some of them little candles, the little electronic tea lights popped behind the trees, behind a piece of vellum, so the trees light up. So lots of ways you're going to be able to bring these in and decorate them to make your cards, your decorations, whatever you wish to. Now, as I mentioned, all of the bits we looked at to create this card are available on the Craftmania website. You will find them all in the November-YouTube-last minute Christmas ideas page, which you'll find under the As Seen on TV tab. We spoke a little bit earlier and told you I'd tell you more about how you can order. So you can of course do it online. You can also order via the phone lines as well. Our phone lines are open 9 AM to 7 PM every day. You can give us a ring on 01493 843 666 and Daphne is there ready and waiting to take your calls to place your orders. Now, all of our orders, whether they go through the phone lines or online, they're ever so easy. If you spend over £5, your P&P is completely free within the UK. If you live internationally and wish to order the bits and bobs from Craftmania, that's not a problem. We literally ship everywhere in the world. Well, no problem there. Your P&P is capped at just £10. If your parcel costs more than £10, at Craftmania, we actually pay that for you. So you don't have to worry about actually spending any more than £10. If it's less than £10, we will actually refund the difference for you. I hope you've enjoyed today's little video. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to pop them in the comments. And please do watch out for more ideas videos coming up throughout November. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.